If your email campaigns are mostly discount codes and sales blasts, I need you to pause. Because while that might feel like you're doing email marketing, you're not, trust me. You're probably just hurting your email list and speeding up your customers' churn. In this video, I'll walk you through how to actually think up engaging segment-specific campaigns that keeps customers longer and boosts your LTV without sacrificing margin. And I've also put together a Notion doc with campaign angles for every customer segment so you never run out of ideas. Let's break it all down. Alright, so the thing with sending campaigns is there are a ton of brands out there that don't have a very buoyant strategy. They don't have a very strong, robust campaign sending strategy. And the thing with these brands is they don't know, right? And they don't know that they don't know. For you to understand, for you to understand why it's very important for you to figure out a way to send campaigns that resonate to your email list, you need to first of all understand the relationship with your customer, the relationship your customer has with your brand, if possible the relationship that each individual customer has with your brand. Now we can't actually do that realistically, but what we can do is we can at least go a level deep enough for us to be able to understand and segment to an instant, right? So when we tell brands, typically you can't keep sending discounting emails. The reason why they don't react immediately, the reason why it seems as though it enters into 1 year and goes out the other years, because they don't know the kind of impact that has on them. So in this video, I'm going to break down the kind of, rather than just give you campaign ideas, I would take you through the process of understanding the importance of it, and then I'll provide you with a doc at the end of the video, a Notion doc that you can take as a baseline standard for fishing out for ideas for campaigns and all of that. So without further ado, let's dive right into my demonstration. All right, so take this one long line, take it as an example of your marketing funnel. Basically every path that has been drawn in a way to lead to your brand, to lead to a customer coming to your website and converting and buying something, right? So just take this long ass arrow as that funnel, the entire holistic funnel, so to speak. So at the initial part of the funnel, basically this by the way is a draw, is a diagram representing the relationship between your customer, an ideal customer, and a brand. So in the first phase of the funnel, you have ads, right? Basically, you run ads, you run paid acquisition to get people to figure out your brand exists. But typically the reaction that business owners have with ads, at least for the kind of business owners that are not Elon Musk, or they don't have Elon Musk-esque type of bank accounts or liquidity, or the Kardashians-esque type of liquidity in their bank accounts. This is typically the feeling, the relationship they have with ads, because, well, Facebook and Google ads, they are quite expensive, right? Expensive to scale. You cannot rely entirely, the growth of your business cannot rely entirely on these channels to grow, right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then there is the middle path of the funnel, where you have to now start relying on things like SEO, CRO, SEO being search engine optimization, CRO, the conversion rate optimization of your website. I think I would also put SMM here, basically social media marketing, your IG, TikTok, Facebook page, and everything that you do to farm engagement there. I'll put it here because at this point in time, the customer already knows about your brand. They're already familiar with your brand, but for some reason they've not purchased, or they've already taken a few purchases, right? So there's the unfamiliar stage. You have to use ads to get them to be familiar. There's a familiar stage. What you rely on then is SEO, CRO, emails, your social media profiles, and then there's the churn phase, right, where they've already gotten used to you for a while. They've bought from you for a while. They've tested you out. For some reason, they churned. It could be anything that could make a customer churn, but every customer is bound to churn eventually, right? So what you typically leverage is retargeting ads to get them back. Going to the next part of the diagram, you can see that I zoomed in on the familiar customers here, because basically the whole point of this video is to really understand, the whole goal of this video is to understand the kind of emails that you should be sending to this specific type of customers that are familiar with your brand, to farm engagement consistently and conversions, and sort of like increase the lifetime value of those customers for the longest that it can be before they churn. And that email marketing does a good job with that, right? But then there is bad email marketing. There are bad types of email marketing strategies, and then there are good types of email marketing strategy. The kind of strategy that a lot of brand uses, unfortunately, is the bad type, where they typically just send discounts and discounts and discounts and discounts, and that causes the customers to churn faster than they would churn even if there was no marketing at all. But brands don't know that this negatively impacting, and I'll explain how that works. So we're zooming into the familiar part of the funnel, the customers that are familiar with your brand. And then when we zoom in, we realize that there are three main types of identity. There are people that are new, they're still fresh, they're new, they're skeptics. There are people that are repeat buyers already, and then there are people that are already worn out, right? They are close to churning. Okay, so bad email marketing, you can see it here, it's just a one straight line. It tells a skeptic, oh, welcome to a brand, take the discount, buy. It takes a person that has bought before, oh, you've bought before, nice, take this discount, buy again. It takes somebody that has worn out from your brand, oh, you've not bought for a long time, why is that? Oh yeah, take this discount and buy again, right? Regardless of whatever they have in their minds, regardless of their pains, their feelings, their desires, their end goal for even wanting your product in the first place, doesn't care, it's just giving them discount. This is going to accelerate the speed by which they move from being a skeptic, being familiar with you, to churning immediately. That is what is the case for most brands, and that is bad, right? But for good email marketing, what typically happens is it moves them. I don't think I represented this very well, but we'll work with what we have. So it moves them from skeptics to repeat buyers as soon as possible. And then the moment it gets them into good email marketing, the moment the customers get into that repeat buying phase, the work that good email marketing does is it tries to get them to buy and buy and buy and buy and stay in this phase for as long as possible. Like I said earlier, every customer is bound to churn, so they will eventually churn. But good email marketing, the strategy behind it is structured in such a way that it tries to keep them within here as long as possible. Right? Good email marketing will ask, and I'll show you, I won't even get to that. I'll show you exactly how good email marketing does that. So for us to understand really how good email marketing works, we need to still go a little bit deeper into the ICP, the ideal client profile, and then that's where we come into email audience segments, right? So these are the main segments in terms of like the buying relationship they have with your brand. There are people that have never bought from you. There are people that have just bought for the first time. There are people that have bought 2 to 4 times. There are people that have bought high amount of like CLV. They spent a ton of money on your brands. They bought more than 4 times, or they bought more than 5x your average order value. They are typically the top 5% of your total orders. And then there are people that are lapsed at risk, meaning they bought before, but for some reason they've stopped buying for like the past 120 to 180 days. Yeah, if you read this, you can also see those descriptions. Yeah, very well. So these are the main segments in terms of like your ICP's buying relationship with your brand, right? It makes it easier for you to see the kind of people that you're talking to and sending emails to, and it also makes it easier for you to tailor content. to them. So if say you don't have these segments set in your account, you should probably go set them up. That should probably be the first thing that you should have set up from this video. So like moving on, once we are very clear on these segments, we can now enter into like, okay, dissecting the emotional states of these people and what drives their purchase, drives their um what basically drives them, right? So for bad email marketing, like I said earlier, it literally just tells the curious and wary person that is price sensitive, take a discount, and that typically works. Typically, to an extent, is a good, how do I put it, is regarded as a good counter to whatever objections they might have. Around 50% of the time, people will get discounts to test out your product for the first time. They typically tend to buy, but then what tends to happen is around the second time they are a different person, right? Around the second purchase, they become a totally different person. They have a different perspective about you, different relationship about you. They have different objections at that point. They've seen your discount offers and how easy you are to give discounts, so they're not really bought like that anymore. So what do you do with that? What do you do with a customer that doesn't buy your discount offer, so to speak? For brands that keep sending discounts to them, hoping to just break down whatever objection they have, what typically happens, like I said earlier, is they just frustrate this customer out of their funnel, and the customer gets here quicker than usual, and they just churn, right? So for good email marketing, what good email marketing does instead is it listens to your customers, right? For the person here who has just gotten your welcome email is probably curious, wary, the price sensitive, they're comparing you with other brands, they're not sure if you're legit and all. They have questions like, will it work for me, or can I trust this brand? Your welcome flow, if it's well done, will answer most of these questions rather than just throwing discounts at their faces, right? For the customers here, they've bought from you once at least, so they have this mild excitement from the first post purchase they've gotten from you. They are still judging you, but they're a little bit soft on you already. They're trying to figure out, was it worth it, should I try another SKU? Your post purchase flow is typically the kind of, if it is done right, your post purchase flow is typically the emails that will set the right feelings in them, and then the campaigns after that, right? So good email marketing listens to them, answers their questions, answers their objections, sends emails tailored to whatever they are feeling at the point in time they're in that funnel. And by so doing, just by listening to them, they win the customer over, right? That's how good email marketing wins the customer over, turns the first time buyer to become a repeat buyer, sorry. And then once they get into this phase, the main driver of revenue will be your campaigns, right? So the campaigns will be sending out, rather than just throwing discounts in their faces like bad email marketing does, campaigns will be sending out FAQs and some few things, answering possible objections that they will have while in this position in their customer journey. Is there something fresh or better? Why is this product like this? Or can we try another product? Can we bundle things together? Those are typically the kind of reactions they get from repeat buyers, which you should tackle, which good email marketing will tackle. And therefore, VIP buyers, these are people that have bought from you a ton of times. They spent a considerable amount of revenue, or a considerable chunk of that money on you. So they want to feel like they want to feel like VIPs. So the best thing for them to get them to come again and buy is to find a way to appreciate them for how far they've come with you and how loyal they've been with your brand. So they are typically people that feel like they deserve first dibs, they deserve perks because of how much they've spent with you, how loyal this, how much business they've sent your way, and all that. So you also want to segment them and treat them differently. That is what good email marketing does. It tries to work them right to be the best version of the loyal customer, so to speak. And then even good email marketing taps into the lapsed buyers and tries to win them over or get them to purchase again and again. That is how good email marketing works. You can see from these arrows, right? It goes across, like it's sort of like a loop. It creates a loop across each segment. But bad email marketing just literally goes forward, trying to push them to get into the next segment as fast as possible, and that leads to churn faster. With this knowledge now, you now have ideas, right? That leads us to having ideas on how we can answer each of these segments specifically, how we can tailor campaigns, topics, angles to answer specifically these customers and increase our chances of actually making the customer stay as long as possible, increasing the customer's lifetime value with the brand and loyalty with the brand own, right? So this concept is what most brands that send discounted emails every time don't understand. All right, so I made this Notion doc, right? I use this in my this is something my team uses to sort of like roll through different campaign ideas that could help a brand. Say you're out of ideas, you don't know what to send. I'm just going to quickly break it down for you on how you can use it. I'm going to link this below. So basically, there are 4 ways that you could think of campaigns. There are campaigns that are product led, right? They are campaigns that go out in the perspective of like a certain product or a bunch of few products. There are campaigns that are customer led. They go out with stories from a customer, from a particular customer, a bunch of customers. There are campaigns that are offer led. These are the typical campaigns that carry discounts or holiday sales, and then there are campaigns that are brand led in terms of like notifications from the brand, news, and stuff like that. So once you want, and then of course there are campaigns that are data led and all of that. But once you think of it in terms of like these 4 perspectives, it becomes very easier, right, to answer questions. And then there are pillars and core purposes and best fit segments for each campaign, so it's broken down very easily for you. So also there are some brands that find it very hard to accept the fact that they should be sending more campaigns more often to their list. And that's because they don't really understand the concept behind sending more campaigns. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be sending campaigns to all of your list or everybody in your list. Say if it's recommended for a brand to send at least 5 campaigns per week, it's not necessarily that they will be sending those 5 campaigns to the same set of people, to the entire people in your list, right? It just means that there will be segmentation, and then you send probably 2 of those campaigns to people that bought before, and then probably 3 of those campaigns, 1 to the VIP, and then 2 to like repeat buyers, things like that. That opens up a lot of ways. That opens a lot of revenue how do I put it, channels that you could. I know you understand what I mean. I'm finding that to really explain what that does. But basically, product led campaigns, they are campaigns that come from the perspective of the product, right? Say you're highlighting a product or you're highlighting a collection, an email that you send out to highlight a bundle, an email you send out to highlight the bestsellers that you have, an email you send out to highlight a particular product that is running low, that you're about to be out of stock of, an email that goes out showcasing the product of the month, a product quiz email, product education email, how to email, gift guide email, competitor comparison email, basically our product versus their product, maybe with another competitor, a model comparison email, and then a myth bust email about a product. Also say a product has a lot of myths behind it, say like you're selling bamboo boxes and all of that, and there's a lot of myths about bamboo. You want to break those myths concerning that particular product, things like that. So it helps. And then there are each core purposes tied to each types of like email angles and email campaign angles and all of. So you can, depending on what you want to like send out, depending on the goal that you want to like achieve, right? Because typically with like repeat VIP segments, there's less objections there. You just want to like announce new things that sort of like align with what they are thinking and what they are expecting from you. But then for the never buyers versus the one-time buyers, they're the ones that typically need a lot of convincing and all of that. And you see it if you go through this doc, you see a lot of that has been shelled out, has been made easy for you to work with, right? So if you're wondering what should I send to the people in my list that have not bought before, this is the master doc that you need, right? To do that, say you want to send it from a point of a product-led campaign, this is a good campaign to do, a bestseller showcase. Say you want to send it from a customer-led campaign, this is a good campaign to do. A PAS campaign, PAS, basically problem agitate solution campaign, this works a ton. A myth bust campaign again, but this time from a customer's POV. This is a credibility builder and it works for all segments. So I made sure everything has, how do I put it, clarity on, first of all, campaign angles that you can use that you probably haven't think of a lot, and then the core purpose of those angles, so you have clarity on why you're sending those emails, and then the best fit segments to send them to. So I hope this helps someone out there. I'm going to link it in the description below, and yeah, I hope it does help you out there and you start sending out campaigns that are less discount-ish and more engaging, more resonating with your ideal customer profile. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a great day.